Political decisions are supposed to be human. Elected officials debate options, weigh trade offs, and decide what to do. That is the idea. But the process behind those decisions is changing. Consider how policies are evaluated today. A government wants to introduce a new regulation. It needs to understand economic impact, public response, long term consequences. Traditionally, this meant reports, expert opinions, and limited modeling. Now, AI systems can simulate outcomes. They can model how different groups might respond. They can forecast economic effects under multiple scenarios. At first, this looks like better decision making. More data, more analysis, more insight. And in many cases, it is. AI can process information faster than human teams. It can explore more possibilities. It can reveal patterns that might otherwise be missed. But something changes when these systems become central to the process. Because decisions are no longer based only on human judgment. They are influenced by the outputs of models. Imagine two policy options. An AI system evaluates both. It produces projections, risk assessments, and probability estimates. One option appears more favorable, not certain, but statistically stronger. From a decision making perspective, this is compelling. Ignoring that recommendation becomes harder, even if there are reasons to question it. This creates a subtle shift. The system does not make the decision, but it shapes the decision space. There is a reasonable counterargument. Some argue that this improves governance. Human decision-making can be biased, inconsistent, and influenced by limited information. AI can introduce structure. It can make trade-offs more visible. It can reduce arbitrary decisions. In many cases, this is true. Better analysis can lead to better outcomes. More informed decisions can reduce costly mistakes. But this also raises new questions. Who designs the models? Which data is used? Which assumptions are built into the system? These factors influence the output, and the output influences the decision. Unlike traditional reports, AI-generated analysis can be harder to interpret. It may involve complex models and large data sets. The reasoning is not always transparent. This creates an accountability challenge. If a decision is influenced by a system, who is responsible for the outcome? The decision maker? The designers of the model? The data used to train it? The answer is not always clear, and that ambiguity can matter. There is also a framing effect. AI systems do not just provide answers, they structure how problems are presented, which variables are included, which outcomes are measured, which scenarios are considered. This shapes how decision makers think about the problem, even before a decision is made. Another factor is consistency. If similar systems are used across different institutions, they may produce similar analyses. This can lead to convergence in policy approaches, not because of coordination, but because the underlying tools are similar. Second-order effects can emerge. If decision makers rely heavily on AI analysis, their own role may shift, from exploring possibilities to evaluating model outputs. This can change how decisions are made. Less time spent generating options, more time spent comparing projections. There is also a speed dynamic. AI systems can produce analysis quickly. This can accelerate the decision process, but it can also compress reflection. Decisions may be made faster, but not necessarily with deeper understanding. In complex situations, this matters. Political decisions often involve uncertainty, conflicting values, and long-term consequences. Not all of these factors can be modeled accurately. AI can estimate outcomes, but it cannot fully capture context, or values, or unpredictable events. If decision makers rely too heavily on model outputs, these elements may receive less attention. Not intentionally, but because they are harder to quantify. None of this means that AI should not be used in policy. The benefits are real. Better data can improve decisions. More analysis can reveal risks. But the role of AI needs to be understood. It is not just a tool, it is part of the decision environment. And that environment influences outcomes. As AI becomes more integrated into governance, the key question is not whether it makes decisions, it is how much it shapes them. Because influence does not require control, it only requires relevance. If a system consistently provides the most detailed analysis, the most structured projections, and the most accessible summaries, it becomes difficult to ignore. And over time, difficult to question. Political decisions may still be made by humans. Debates will continue, votes will still happen, but the foundation of those decisions may shift from human generated reasoning to system generated analysis. And when that happens, the nature of decision making changes, not visibly, but structurally. The process looks the same, but the inputs are different. And in decision making, inputs matter because they shape what seems possible, what seems reasonable, and what seems likely, which means that even without making decisions directly, AI may quietly influence which decisions are made in the first place.